All right, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. Now, today, my favorite author again, Mr. Robert Greene, which I always talk about all of his books and everything that he wrote and some of his best work. Um, I really resonate with. So that's right here. After 48 Laws of Power, Art of Seduction. Those are my two. My third favorite is The Laws of Human Nature. Concise version again. We went concise version again because it's the same thing, right? So the regular version, it'd be about 3 times as thick as this, and he uses historical examples. Now in this one, this video, we're just gonna do the introduction because the introduction is even long in this one. And like I said, this is still the concise version. So yeah, the regular one is crazy thick. So I'm gonna do part one of the introduction, and then I'm gonna do part two of the introduction, and then give like a little breakdown, and then we're gonna get into each one, dive into it later. So for the introduction, we go here. He says, if you come across any special trait of meanness or stupidity, you must be careful not to let it annoy or distress you, but to look upon it merely as an addition to your knowledge, a new fact to be considered in studying the character of humanity. Your attitude towards it will be that of the mineralogist who stumbles upon a very characteristic specimen of a mineral. Quote by Arthur Schopenhauer. Throughout the course of our lives, we inevitably have to deal with a variety of individuals who stir up trouble and make our lives difficult and unpleasant. Oh man, some of these individuals are leaders or bosses, some are colleagues, and some are friends. They can be aggressive or passive aggressive, but they are generally masters at playing on our emotions. They often appear charming and refreshingly confident, brimming with ideas and enthusiasm, and we fall under their spell. Only when it is too late do only when it is too late do we discover that their confidence is irrational and their ideals ill conceived. Among colleagues, they can be those who sabotage our work or careers out of secret envy, excited to bring us down. Oh, that's so true. Or they could be colleagues or hires who reveal to our dismay that they are completely out for themselves, using us as stepping stones. Seen that. What inevitably happens in these situations is that we are caught off guard, not expecting such behavior. Often these types will hit us with elaborate cover stories to justify their actions or blame handy scapegoats. They know how to confuse us and draw us into a drama they control. We might protest or become angry, but in the end, we feel rather helpless. The damage is done. Then another such type enters our life, and the same story repeats itself. We often notice a similar sensation of confusion and helplessness when it comes to ourselves and our own behavior. For instance, we suddenly say something that offends our boss or colleague or friend. We are not quite sure where it came from, but we are frustrated to find that some anger and tension from within has leaked out in a way that we regret. Or perhaps we enthusiastically throw our weight into some project or scheme only to realize it was quite foolish and a terrible waste of time. Whew, man, oh man. Or perhaps we fall in love with a person who is precisely the wrong type for us, and we know it, but we cannot help ourselves. What has come over us? We wonder. In these situations, we catch ourselves falling into self-destructive patterns of behavior that we cannot seem to control. It is as if we harbor a stranger within us, a little demon who operates independently of our willpower and pushes us into doing the wrong things. And this stranger within us is rather weird, or at least weirder than how we imagine ourselves. What can we say about these two things? People's ugly actions and our own occasionally surprising behaviors is that we usually have no clue as to what causes them. We might latch onto some simple explanations: that person is evil, a sociopath, or something came over me, I wasn't myself. But such pat descriptions do not lead to any understanding or prevent that same pattern from recurring. The truth is that we humans live on the surface, reacting emotionally to what people say and do. We form opinions of others and ourselves that are rather simplified. We settle for the easiest and most convenient story to tell ourselves. What if, however, we could dive below the surface and see deep within getting closer to the actual roots of what causes human behavior. What if we could understand why some people turn envious and try to sabotage our work, or why their misplaced confidence causes them to imagine themselves as godlike and infallible? What if we could truly fathom why people suddenly behave irrationally and reveal a much darker side to their character? Or why are they always ready to provide a rationalization for their behavior? Or why we continually turn to leaders who appeal to the worst in us? What if we could look deep inside and judge people's character, avoiding the bad hires and personal relationships that cause us so much emotional damage? I'm almost done. It's the last page. And this ain't even half of the introduction. This is just it's deep. He says, if we really understood the roots of human behavior, it would be much harder for the more destructive types to continually get away with their actions. We would not be so easily charmed and misled. We will be able to anticipate their nasty and manipulative maneuvers and see through their cover stories. We would not allow ourselves to get dragged into their dramas, knowing in advance that our interest is what they depend on for their control. We would finally rob them of their power through our ability to look into the depths of their character. Similarly, is he going deep, man? Similarly, with ourselves, what if we could look within and see the source of our more troubling emotions and why they drive our behavior, often against our own wishes? What if we could understand why we are so compelled to desire what other people have, or to identify so strongly with the group that we feel contempt for those who are on the outside? What if we could find out what causes us to lie about who we are, or to inadvertently push people away? Being able to understand more clearly that stranger within us would help us to realize that it's not a stranger at all, but very much a part of ourselves, and that we are far more mysterious, complex, and interesting than we had imagined. And with that awareness, we will be able to break the negative patterns in our lives, stop making excuses for ourselves, and gain better control of what we do and what happens to us. Having such clarity about ourselves and others could change the course of our lives in so many ways. But first, we must clear up a common misconception. We tend to think of our behavior as largely conscious and willed. So imagine that we are not always in control of what we do as a frightening thought. But in fact, it is the reality. We are subject to forces from deep within us that drive our behavior and that operate below the level of our awareness. We see the results, our thoughts, moods, and actions, but have little conscious access to what actually moves our emotions and compels us to behave in certain ways. Let us call the collection of these forces that push and pull at us from deep within human nature. Human nature stems from the particular wiring of our brains, the configuration of our nervous system, and the way we humans process emotions, all of which developed and emerged over the course of 5 million years or so of our evolution as a species. We can ascribe many of the details of our nature to the distinct way we evolved as a social animal to ensure our survival, learning to cooperate with others, coordinating our actions with the group on a high level, creating novel forms of communication and ways of maintaining group discipline. This early development lives on within us and continues to determine our behavior, even in the modern, sophisticated world we live in. Wait a minute. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna go because I'm just gonna read a little more because it's lengthy, man. This is the introduction. To take one example, look at the evolution of human emotion. The survival of our earliest ancestors depended on their ability to communicate with one another well before the invention of language. They evolved new and complex emotions: joy, shame, gratitude, jealousy, resentment, etc. The signs of these emotions could be read immediately on their faces, communicating their moods quickly and effectively. They became extremely permeable to the emotions of others as a way to bind a group more tightly together, to feel joy or grief as one, or to remain united in the face of danger. I'm halfway done with the introduction. This is Robert Greene's Laws of Human Nature. concise version. Man, he goes deep, man. He goes deep. More videos coming, more content coming. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. And we just getting started, man. This is just the beginning. Have a great day. I'll see y'all soon.